Welcome today to our Mercury Cazimi video. We're having a Cazimi with Persephone, the asteroid of the Queen of the Underworld, as well as fixed star Spica and Arcturus, all mashed up with Mercury Cazimi, the sun, or Mercury in the lap of the king or the heart of the sun. This is a very intense energy. This is a very special Cazimi as well because of Mercury's mutual reception to Venus in Virgo at the time of the Cazimi. We're going to talk about what this might mean for you based on your sun, your moon, and your rising sign. We're not really going to talk about world events today. I just want to cover more or less what might be going on in your life with this Mercury reset button that will unfold over 2 months afterward. And the day of the Cazimi is the 19th and the 20th, depending on where you live in the world. I'll be showing you the chart right away so you can see what this looks like in the sky. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Lori Lothian. I am using the Western Tropical Zodiac and whole sign houses. And you're catching me from Palm Springs, the USA today because I've got beach hair. I've been by the pool and I'm on vacation with a girlfriend for her birthday. So I don't have my normal setup. I'm not using my Yeti mic. Hopefully these are good quality. Check out my description box below for everything I have to offer. I have my 2020 4 all signs 75-minute videos coming out, 12 videos times 75 minutes. They're being released the third week of November. If you want to get that content, there's a pre-order promotion and it's in the description box below where you get a price you won't get if you buy them after the 25th of November. So check that out too, just down below. All right, so guys, first of all, I'm recording on October the 18th for my Patreon community and the public will get this on the 19th. And what I will say to you is that the world is in a huge amount of chaos, as we all know, with the Israeli-Palestinian problem. And I'm not going to talk about it here. I've done some stuff on it already, and check out my community tab for things I write about it as well. But I want to just point out a couple of things that are going on in the sky as a collective. This is a Cazimi, okay, a Mercury in the heart of the sun right here. And that heart of the sun placement is on the ascendant of Israel. Israel's ascendant is 23 Libra based on the formation of the state of Israel in May of 2000 and 1948. And so this is still just like the eclipse we had right on the ascendant at 21 degrees of the sign of Libra. We're back in the same place, right? We're still within orb of Israel's ascendant. So Mercury in the heart of the sun can be about invisibility. Deep invisibility, but with a powerful plus, not burning up, not combust, but right in the heart, the lap of the king. So this could be some really breakthrough news coming through on the 19th, 20th about the war, or some kind of turning point in that situation. I'm hopeful, I hope. But we also see Persephone right here, and I hope maybe I'll annotate a bit for you. Persephone is literally the asteroid that can represent where we've been victimized and we want to move from victim to power, like because she was abducted by Pluto and she was dragged into the underworld. Her mother had to rescue her. She was like, it was, abducted, raped, brought to the underworld. Anyway, at the end of the day, she becomes a halftime queen of the underworld and she gains incredible power. And that is a story of triumph over victim stance or victimhood. So one thing I like about Persephone, she can bring us in touch with where we feel victimized. There she is. And this is a stellium. And where we can triumph over that feeling of being a victim. Now, Venus is sitting, so this Cazimi, the day of the Cazimi, isn't everything. It's when something special, magical, divine downloads, inspirations, information you need to hear could come to light. And then you've got to let it unfold over the couple of months that follow. Okay, so it's not just a one-off story that we're going to go into for your sign. But also, Venus is over here in Virgo. I didn't draw her in, but just trust me, she's sitting over here. There she sits. And she's in Virgo. She's not comfortable there. And by the way, Juno just moved in with her too, the asteroid for commitment, contracts and agreements, vows. And she doesn't like being there. She's in her detriment, also called her fall. And what she is doing, however, is inhabiting the house that belongs to Mercury. And Mercury is inhabiting the Libra house that belongs to Venus. And this means they have a hotline to each other, sort of like the red phone that Russia used to have with the White House. Don't know if they have that anymore. And they can get in touch with each other, and that's positive because this kind of suggests that this Mercury in the heart of the sun is dragging Venus in as well, because Venus in Virgo has something to do with what happens in her house. Can you imagine there was some big event going on in your home, but you were traveling, and then you've got a phone call going in? What's going on in my house? What's going on in my Libra house? So it's a South Node energy. It's about letting go, releasing. It's strategic, Athena, but Athena is also the goddess of war. as well as Minerva. So she's a war goddess here as well. And we're seeing a war goddess in Libra near the ascendant of Israel. Yeah, you get it, right? The Persephone thing is that victim stance, right? Being dragged into the underworld, having the rug pulled out from underneath you, which I'm sure all the Israelis felt when this massive, brutal onslaught from Hamas happened. I am not taking sides. Be very clear. I am talking about astrology. I am talking about astrology. I said this over and over again. I'm not saying who's right or wrong. Don't go political threading on me here, please. But I'm just saying, with a Persephone here involved in the Cazimi, wherever we feel dragged individually or collectively into some kind of abyss, some dark hole, some kind of scary dark place, we are being asked to look at it squarely and get some insight. Mercury, get some knowingness, get some understanding, get some clarity, get some divine download about what we need to do in our lives for each of us to move from a place of feeling perhaps victimized into a place of power. And so we'll do that for your sign. And Venus will also involve perhaps Virgo territory as well in this story. Before we do the all signs, and this is a short video, maybe about 45 minutes, so you don't need to hunker down and settle in the way you usually do. But before we get to all signs, a couple things to note about the Cazimi besides this Persephone narrative. Look at the Cazimi squaring Pluto, now in direct motion, right? Ever since the 10th of October. And so, if I remember correctly, so this is also adding to the intensity. Pluto in the last degrees of Capricorn, now moving direct. Yeah, this is top-down power structures. This is banks and economies. This is financial markets. This is powerful structures of control. And Pluto squaring the Cazimi. So Mercury has a powerhouse of an event. He is in the heart of the sun. He is allowing the divine intelligence of the universe to shine through him. And he's being born again. And in that sense, he's more powerful than Pluto here, in my humble opinion. So he's like squaring Pluto, like F you. And Pluto is the god of destruction and death and rebirth and intensity. But let's see what that looks like in terms of, say, financial markets. Because with the South Node in Libra conjuncting Mars, which happened at the beginning of October, like around the 4th and 5th, that has historically been the black market, Black Monday stock crash. It's correlated with 1931 onset of the Great Depression, 1950 and 1968 as well. When Mars South Node came together, there were market resets, onsets of bear markets, etc. So we haven't seen anything really big happen, just some war fears, and the markets were a bit wobbly, and sometimes war can increase the markets because they're betting on the military-industrial complex to sort of gin up the prosperity. World War II made the United States a prosperous nation by getting involved in that war. And because the military-industrial complex kicked in and planes were built and economies were created. So we'll see what happens. But if there is any potential breaking down of stock markets or banking industry stuff, it could be connected to that Cazimi and the 2 months that follow. Libra is the scales of justice, but also the scales of commerce. South Node is something's emptying out. Okay. I just wanted to remind everybody that we do have Mars sitting in the 4th house in Scorpio, and there's an ongoing trine to Vesta this week during the Cazimi. This is what do you want to do that you're passionate about, that you are sacredly called to do as a duty or a devotional energy, and you wish to take action or make decisions based on that sense of devotion. And the devotion is in your Cancer part of your chart, and the action is being taken in the Scorpio part of your chart. Okay. And I might tap into that for all signs just a titch. Okay. Because it's happening during that Cazimi as well. Finally, I never liked seeing Mars with Ceres together. Ceres is the harvest goddess. Mars is cut, end, and sever. But I think she's more than that. I've watched her in charts look like the sickle of death, cutting away, dying, ending. It's possible we're going to see some pretty intense energies with Mars and Scorpio over the next 6 weeks, coming out to the collective about things that were damaging to one's well-being physically, like the Great Mother with her sharp sword cutting things off, Ceres, and Mars is the real revealing of secrets. So, interpret liberally. Alrighty. Lastly, the moon. During the Cazimi at 26 degrees and 34 minutes, which will be at 12:40 a.m. in Bowling Green, Kentucky. That's just because I had a client and I left her date in there. Eastern Daily Time. It's pretty precise at 12:40 a.m. and it's precise, therefore, around 9:20 a.m. in Pacific Daily Time. And the point is that the Cazimi itself is the most potent moment of time. But you can take this time and adjust for your time zone, please. Go 12:40 a.m. Oh, Central Daily Time, sorry. Kentucky Central Daily Time. So go 12:40 a.m. Central Daily Time and go 6 hours before and 6 hours after. And you're pretty well in the most potent egg yolk of the Cazimi. Good for meditation, vision boarding, divine downloads, seeing what you can get, coming down at you like a lightning bolt of divine knowledge and inspiration and news. But during the time of the Cazimi, we see that the sun is in its detriment, in the sign of discomfort, right? Exile from its Cancer home across the way. And with the asteroid Phobos, the domino effect, which is currently sitting on Israel's lot of fortune, in Israel's fourth house of property, home and land, the homeland. Also, there would be the party of opposition to the ruling party. But that's not happening because all the parties have united. So Phobos asteroid on the lot of fortune by transit right now in Israel, domino effect. One small thing snowballs or dominoes into something larger. I already recorded some content on my videos about this. My concern, of course, the domino effect is the world conflagration as countries in the Middle East and around the world take sides. And we don't want to see that because that's called World War III. If you're all the Bible channels on YouTube, doing the whole book of Revelations and all that, this is the big one. This is your apocalyptic war. Oh my God. I hope not. Time for the aliens to land on the White House lawn, right, guys? White House lawn, anybody? Or even just like, how about the Kremlin lawn or whatever? They'll be not the Kremlin, but the Russian White House lawn. Okay. Or it'd be really kind of nice if a UFO just kind of landed right in the middle of Jerusalem, right, where they're all fighting over the dome and the mosque and all of that, and the Wailing Wall, and this UFO just lands in the middle of Jerusalem like the movie Arrival, and suddenly blasts everybody with a beam of love or a beam of recognition that people are people, and your language, your skin color, your religion is not worth fighting over. And in war is always not really a fight about religion and beliefs usually. It's an economic thing. It's always about resources and the desire to acquire resources. So there's a lot of what we can see in the Gaza Strip right now of very possibly that Israel will annex the north part of Gaza and take it over and therefore have oceanfront, right? Just possibly. That could be the direction and the end game of this war. All right. Okay. So I don't like follows the domino effect on the moon during the Cazimi in terms of something coming out of this Mercury stock markets, Mercury balance, justice, harmony. They may also trigger a lunation, a lunar domino effect. So the moon is leaning into being a first quarter moon. Isn't quite there. So it is a waxing crescent moon still. Yeah. Yeah, it's not quite there. So it's a waxing crescent. Doesn't sound right. Waxing gibbous. Oh, my brain won't work. First quarter, no, it's waxing crescent. So, I mean, it's an extremist moon. It's connected in a strong way to this energy of what it is that can be triggered, like from one small tiny thing that seems incidental, and it can just roll out of control. And the moon represents the people. Okay, so like the population, the people. So there's something really big trying to germinate here. But for the most part, a Mercury Cazimi itself is a good thing. But it's the aftermath of what it's trying to show us that we're going to go into for all signs. I'm going to stop the annotation, okay? And then we're going to go all signs. And you might want to get ready for maybe having a clear all annotations. Clear all drawings. We're going to not spend much time on each sign because in like 30 minutes, I need to be going out with the girls to some kind of hot springs in Palm Springs. I don't want to hold anybody up. Don't forget, if you're new to my channel, hit the like button and subscribe. I really appreciate that. I'm having a video coming out this Saturday on the lunar eclipse in Taurus. I already did a video with Beyond the Veil astrology with Candace Marie. Go check that out. It's already out on my channel. Did it about a month ago. It's a really great video, but I'm going to add to it with my own video soon. And on this coming Sunday, look forward to the 2024 November All Signs video drop. So that's coming up as well. Okay, so let's get started and let's go through each sign. Let me just cue this first. I'm going to stop the share. I'm going to stop the share to cue the chart, and then we'll be right back. And I just checked out the Sabian symbol for the 27 degrees Libra. You round up from 26. An airplane sails high in the clear sky. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? You know, we think of 9/11, I think about an airplane sails high in the clear sky. So hopefully there's no airplane event that we're all going to be cringing over, but the Sabian symbol is on an airplane sails high in the clear sky. Some people look at to be higher consciousness, reaching a higher plane of consciousness. Those are optimistic ways of interpreting that symbol, given there's a war ongoing right now. But I would say that at the end of the day, we'll just remember an airplane sails high in the clear sky, and let's see what happens with that Sabian. Let's all do an empirical test. Does it matter? Or do Sabian symbols have the meaning? I'm born with a crystal ball gazer. I was a full-time clairvoyant medium in my 30s on my moon. So I think these things are very funny and accurate. Sabian symbols, channeled symbols, 360 degrees of the wheel, one symbol for each degree. Okay, to roll on to the story, let's check my battery. Eeks. Okay, I got to get through this without losing my battery. Aries, sun, moon, and rising sign. What's going on here? As there is a Cazimi in the seventh house of marriage, resetting there. Where have you felt a victim in your marriage, in your maybe a bit victimy? Don't forget, we have stars Arcturus and Spica here for the world. I didn't really go into it, but these are two positive stars backdropping this Cazimi. And so where have you wanted to thrive and be prosperous and happy and lucky and protected in your marriage and business partnerships, Aries? And yet sometimes you felt a little bit like you were Persephone abducted into the underworld by those stories. I mean, I have two marriages behind me. I can definitely give you the Persephone as an Aries sun and moon. And I can say that we're looking at this kind of redemption of any quality of being victimized or in a victim stance regarding business partners, marriage partners, or the relationship we have with our clients, audience, and marketplace for our business. I think for me, I'll have to stop getting upset by the trolls and let go. It's time to release any of these areas that you have been like traumatized by in that seventh house part of your sky. As well, you can see that in some way there's a domino effect coming into the sky where in that Capricorn lunation area, that moon will be there. Don't ignore the chart. The moon's moving too quickly, but what kind of domino effect may happen when it comes to your public reputation and to your career ambition that comes spinning in the 2 months after this Cazimi that can really critically turn a corner or change direction for you, especially with that square to Pluto. Something is trying to deeply transform in the next 2 months in a domino effect, snowball effect way. It doesn't have to be bad in the career path that you're taking and the direction you're going with your career and reputation. Excuse me, like how comfortable. I'm sitting on this like mid-century modern chair that is not the most comfy one I've ever sat in. And and do you want to light a flame of sacred devotion in your home as it connects to your wealth and your larger monies that you're here to generate? What sacred devotional flame can you light in the property, homeland, and real estate corridor of your chart that allows you to generate some momentum in your shared resources with others and your longer term treasure chest of finances? Some of you may be compelled to buy a house in the 2 months or look at real estate developments or gin up some stock developments or something that help you with your home life. Let's keep on keeping on, because again, the hot tubs are waiting for me. All right, Taurus, sun, moon, and rising. And here we have, a reset button on the 19th, 20th. This is the beginning of the video for details of when. And I forgot to say anything about, sorry, I'm going back a little bit here. Sorry, Nancy's my time stamper. I almost keep forgetting to put Venus in there because I took her out. I apologize. So for Aries, my sister will get this, I hope. Just remember that Venus is trying to help you with your health and work routines. And she's working with that Mercury Cazimi reset in the 2 months that follow to allow you to do that in ways that are also engaging in positive developments with your main partner, your business partner, or your audience. Okay. All right. Real time stamp, Nancy. Taurus, sun, moon, and rising sign. So it's all about a reset button in the health and work part of your chart. Your health and work routines are going to have a renewal, rebeginning. And if you've been feeling victimized by your health or victimized by addictions, because addictions belong to the sixth house as well, habits and patterns on that 612 that really undo you, you're going to find yourself coming from that victim equality to a sense of empowerment and victor, being the victor, not the victim, in the couple months that follow. As you let go of something maybe that was in your psychological stance that doesn't really work for you around the way you work, too much, too hard, or what you put in your mouth, what you're eating, too much, too hard, especially since Mercury rules your second house of what you ingest in your mouth. And so you might be quitting a habit, quitting an addiction with greater ease and grace than you imagined, because Venus In your fifth house is saying, let me find you more healthy pleasures, Venus and Virgo, more healthy and more practical and realistic joy and pleasure over the 2 months that follow. And certainly this can also open up for single Taurus as the potential of a new romantic relationship that's good for you as well in the 2 months that follows this cazimi. And you may look at this a domino effect in your ninth house of education, courts, legal matters, things to do with foreign shores and travel and foreigners. One small thing can be dominoing out with that Pholos moon thing going on at the same time. And of course, Pluto, square Pluto. So Pluto is like, where are you having to make a massive death and rebirth regarding your spiritual philosophy or your connection to a father figure, already, and including a real-time father. Tend that sacred hearth, that flame of devotion in the third house of your siblings and neighborhood, and allow that to give you momentum and direction with your clients, audience, marketplace, and significant others. So now I'm having a hot flash because I'm in Palm Springs and it's a heat wave and it's 30-something degrees here, or 90-something degrees. Moving into Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign. So here we have Mercury having a reset button in your fifth house of children and romantic love, as well as your fifth house of your entrepreneurial and creative endeavors. You may be resetting a whole agenda regarding how you've been victimized in love or sexual energy, or with your children, you felt like a victim. I mean, I think I've been dragged to the underworld by my daughter. I have a progressed Gemini sun a few times with her life's traumas. I felt like I was sucked under. So maybe you're going to recover a sense of empowerment around these kind of victim stances in your life that, to do with romantic love, to do with children, or to do with fertility and pregnancy as a Gemini rising, sun, or moon. Secondly, you got Venus there saying, hotline to Mercury, let's make whatever we're doing in the cazimi fifth house good for my home life, good for my property, good for my enjoyment in my home, good for what I do in my home life, fourth house. And then Mercury's adding some spice to what Venus can create in the 2 months that follows, because she's watching the story from Virgo with a hotline. Maybe a domino effect in your eighth house of chunky money. This can be stocks, investments, shared resources with a partner. One small thing can tip it over into something quite prosperous. It's a waxing crescent moon, so it could really look like exciting energy. And maybe you might also find that with Pluto here that you're making a big change in the couple months that follow with the way you handle your resources, like your 401k, your stocks, your money that you get from royalty income, not your paycheck, the treasure chest, inheritance monies, and how you make do or handle those monies. Because you're trying to tend a sacred flame of devotion, and the couple months that follow, baking in here that Mars trine to the work routines and their income. And you're finding some balance here with a great dignity, Mars in great dignity in the sixth house of work and health routines as it applies to foods you eat and or money you make, finding a new balance for that energy for you, especially with Ceres here suggesting food as medicine might be the direction you're headed in the 2 months that follows. Herbs, herbal nutrition, food as medicine. Mm-hmm. Cancer, sun, moon, and rising sign. So here we have a reset, a cazimi in your fourth house. This is your property, home, and real estate, and your domestic private life. And it's their childhood and ancestral lines often. So there's some deeper reset here, a place where we've been victimized in childhood, victimized with property, home, and real estate, or domestic life strife. And so now you're going to rise above any sense of that, because you're going to become queen of that domain, queen of the underworld. And Venus is saying from the third house something like, hey, you're going to do this reset in the fourth house, but I'm here doing an assist by the hotline to the neighborhood, the neighbors. Some of you might be repairing your neighbor relationships, finding a new neighborhood, or finding more enjoyment, pleasures, and satisfaction that are reasonable and healthy within the neighborly and neighborhood energies. If you have an online business, so Venus can really help you establish some success from any home-based online business in the 2 months that follows this cazimi. The cazimi is also connecting to the siblings idea with Venus. So you may have some really important sibling developments over the course of the 2 months that follow, especially younger siblings. You have maybe a domino effect in the seventh house of marriage. One small thing your marriage partner does or your business partner does or a specific client, and it will domino into something much larger in the 2 months that follow. And, Moon in the seventh can make you popular with the masses, popular with your customers and clients. And you may have that kind of cool extreme domino effect from one thing you've done online in your social media platforms, maybe going viral. Venus in the third, domino effect in the seventh. Also, you may find that the whole domino effect is something your partner does, business or love, and that's where things are starting to roll out in some positive ways. You're tending a flame to your own health, to your own body, to your sense of well-being. You're devoted to your own self right now. And this Cazimi kind of bakes in that trine to Mars and suggests that perhaps you may find a deeper devotion to yourself as it pertains to finding more enjoyment in your life. And Mars in the fifth can be some leisure travel or some activities and games that bring you joy, or separation from a romantic love or child that's actually good for you and brings you into a greater sense of wholeness and sacred devotion to yourself. Leo, sun, moon, and rising sign. So a Cazimi in your third house is really lovely. It's flowing back at you. And it's about your siblings or your travel or your skills-based learning or about your local neighborhood or your online virtual neighborhood. So you're resetting something down here. It can be really, really good if you're in the online world to get a download on the 19th, 20th about some new ideas you might have for your social media life. But otherwise, where you may have been felt slightly victimized by it all, feeling like maybe the universe didn't have your back and it wasn't a friendly place, especially sibling relationships where you've been victimized by that connection, a younger sibling in particular, it can be healed or restored to a place of empowerment, or a sibling who's been dragged into the underworld themselves, or a cousin may be going through a reclamation of power, and you're able to witness that from your Leonine perch. As well, with Venus doing hotlines from the second house of earnings, if you do make money online through social media or websites, this could really be a lovely tete-a-tete on a hotline between Venus and Mercury on that mutual reception phone line to increase your earnings in the 2 months that follows this Cazimi reset. Or you could change a job and get a new job in a different location in the neighborhood and again, make more money. You are tending a flame to your inner life, your soul, your dreams at night, and any place where you self-undo and addict. That's the Vestal flame here. And she's talking to Mars in the fourth house and maybe baking in a bit of energy in the 2 months that follow, where the Vestal flame, trining Mars in the fourth house, is going to offer you the opportunity for a change of home that brings you into a better relationship with your soul, or changes in your home that support you to move away from self-undoing and addictions. Okay? With you, Virgo, sun, moon, and rising folk. This is a breakthrough energy or a new beginning, reset in your finances. This is like the earnings and the money and the resources, also things you put in your mouth, ingest what you ingest. So the sun does rule your 12th house of addictions, is involved in the Mercury Cazimi. And with that said, it'd be really good for some Virgo, sun, moon, and rising to get a handle on whatever substance abuse or food addictions they may have. This being victimized by things you eat, or ingest or smoke or drink can come to a closure here, letting go with the South Node strategically with Athena. However, it's also a reset in your earnings and you're going to change the way you make money. There's something big and significant changing here. And with Venus in the first house, talking to Mercury on a hotline, it's going to make you feel better about yourself. You're going to feel more at peace, more lovable, more loving of yourself, more in a sense of being in a place of grace and goodness in the 2 months that follows this Cazimi. For some of you, it can definitely look like a new job, for example. I think that with the Polos effect in your fifth house, there's a domino effect to do with sexual love, romantic love, and with that Pluto square, where are you coming to a critical turning point in a romantic relationship or a relationship with a child, perhaps, or to do with pregnancy, especially with the moon there, that's going to have a real pivot for your life. And Venus is in a trine to that domino effect as well. So she's really suggesting she wants you to really squarely look at this story of fertility, children, childbirth, love, and romance. And if you're an entrepreneur, it can really help you do one small thing in your entrepreneurial business that dominoes into something really powerful that you find satisfaction in. Venus trying the domino effect. But Pluto, big changes there, like squaring the Cazimi. Second house, fifth house things for entrepreneurs might be a big change of your independent business in the 2 months that follows this event. Tending a sacred flame to your friendships, groups of belonging, and social circles. I'm here with my Virgo rising girlfriend's 60th birthday. And what is she doing? She's devoted to the sacred tending of the flame of her friends who are visiting her with her on vacation to share her and celebrate her 60th birthday. And but that devotional flame that's ongoing right now is baking into this cazimi a bit as it's happening at the same time, a trine to Mars in the third house. Mars in the third house is trips and travel and enjoyment of skills-based learning, and it's so literal for my Virgo rising girlfriend. You may find that this sacred flame that you tend in the house of friendships and greater career gains gets some serious momentum through your local neighborhood, through your online world, or through anything you wish to get passionate about in terms of skills-based learning. All right, Libra, sun, moon, and rising sign. There is a Kazemi reset button, and it is happening. I am recording, right? Like, don't even go there, Lori. I didn't stop the recording, did I? Checking 1, 2, 1, 2. Oh my God. If I'm not recording, I'm going to be very, 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 oh, I am recording, pissed off. Okay. So Libra, sun, moon, and rising. A reset button, a Kazemi, Mercury in the lap of the king. Yay. On fixed star Spica, on fixed star Taurus. If you are a Libra rising, you're 26 degrees, 3 on either side. It's a big deal for you. So this Kazemi is going to reset you. You are having a rebirth in some way. And it's involving strategy, it's involving letting go, and it's also involving the archetype of Persephone, where you might have been sucked into some sort of vortex of victimhood or feeling abducted by life, and now you're going to pull out of this over the 2 months and find your inner queen of the underworld. I think that with Venus in the second 12th house, you've got a hotline to Mercury, and it's all about your soul work, your unconscious, subconscious, psychological soul work stuff. Pleasure is her game, and in Virgo, bed pleasures and real life pleasures like foods and stuff. But it's what you do privately, and no one sees you doing it. And so, if there's anything you do privately to do with too much pleasure that's not good for you, especially substances, this can be really helping you recover or reset from that and start all over again, or renew and enliven your spiritual life as well. Venus here can be very much like the nun. Do you have a new devotional path you need to follow within your life that gets you in touch with your soul? I think that the follows effect in your fourth house is a domino with Pluto square the Cazimi. They could move some of you in the couple months, or sell a property, buy a property, or relocate some of you to a new nest, a new home in the 2 months that follows this Cazimi. But you're having a domino effect. One small thing you do can domino effect into something else. And the Vestal flame across the way, forming that wedge. I didn't describe it as such before, but it is a wedge. Is like, what is this flame of devotion that you're tending in your work, which can be good and bad. You might be overly attentive to your career path at the expense of other things, especially enjoyment of your home life. And that can definitely turn a corner, because that Mars in the second house of earnings is going to be good for you over the next 6 weeks. And you're going to figure out new resourcefulness and earning strategies. And you could spend a bit of money with Mars here too, which is fine, but he's a self-starter in the second. So you could be really, getting something going, like a new business idea, a new business project, a new income stream. But also, I think that that domino effect could be someone or something in your home triggering a cascade of events. So watch out for that. They could change the situation in your home, someone moving out, for example, or where you live. Um, and you're tending some sacred flames between the earnings house and the work and reputation house during the time of the Cazimi, and that may spill over into the aftermath of the weeks that follow as a co-present energy as well. Scorpio, sun, moon, and rising sign in the sky. You have a Cazimi in the 12th house. Is quite subtle. It's kind of, you have to really look under the rug and in the trapdoor to find this place. It's past lives and it's karma and it's spiritual enlightenment and moksha liberation and foreign shores and revenue generated from foreign shores. So if you do generate money from a foreign country, this can be a reset, or foreigners, and a new beginning with a domino effect involved that influences your third house of your website, social media, things to do with trips and travel. Also, consider that if you've felt victimized by sabotaging self-undoings, like addictions, for instance, and you really feel like you can't get a handle on it, you may be able to turn a corner during the time of this Cazimi and the 2 months that follow. And I'm saying that because, of course, the 12th house is that self-undoing addictions house where you're falling away from yourself. And the reset is here. With some strategy, but let go, let God, South Node. Venus is hotlining from the 11th house of friends as allies and benefactors, and maybe some friends can really support you in turning a corner over an addiction, or a particular female could be very beneficial to you in turning some soul works and psychological challenges over and recovering from or restoring yourself. You have Mars in Scorpio, which is wonderful. You are Scorpio. Mars is the lord of your sign. He's here for 6 weeks. Enjoy it. So you have this powerful Mars trine the Vestal flame this week, and it may spill over longer. What kind of devotional flame are you trying to get established when it comes to book publishing, foreign shores, foreign lands, ninth house matters, third marriages? Things to do perhaps with your spiritual belief and philosophy. And a devotional flame up there can get you into a yoga practice or a spiritual path of some sort. You look like you're also, with that square to Pluto in the third, coming into a time in which there could be some kind of crisis with a younger sibling or some kind of intensity or turning point relation or cousin relationship to the neighborhood that you are in, the neighbors that you're connecting to, or certainly with 9 and 3 and 12 houses all very active. This can be involving either a travel opportunity or a move opportunity of great significance coming up for you in the 2 months that follows this Cazimi. The moon is in its joy in the third house for you with this particular where the moon sits at the Cazimi, but it is a moon in detriment. So there can be some domino effect from a cousin or a sibling or extended family member that really influences you at a deeper level. It does flow back to you, which is the good news, okay? And Mars is receiving that Pholos and moon in a positive way. Sagittarius, sun, moon, and rising. Well, hey, a reset in your 11th house. This is a very positive house called the House of Good Spirit. And it could open you up to some really significant new friendships beginning to emerge in the wake of the 2 months that follow the Cazimi. But Cazimi is a reset as well. And because we have a south node nearby, you may also be letting go of a significant social group or friendship network. And that could be very positive because it is also a place where have you been victimized or felt like you've been dragged into the underworld in those larger groups of belonging and those social groups that you may or may not want to be a part of anymore, or just a particular friendship even. With Athena here, you're looking at an opportunity to be very strategic in what things happen with your friends and friendship groups and not to think about it as willy-nilly, but to use some inner strategy. I think Venus in her hotline from the 10th house is suggesting that your career story and your earning story, great gains from career, are on the table, and she's going to help work on your reputation increasing and your greater career gains in the 2 months that follow happening. Watch out for the domino effect in the second house. That can be one small thing you do in your money and finances can unfold a very positive story in the 2 months that follow. And it may also connect to what you're doing in that career and reputation zone. With Venus up there, you can be very popular right now, and that could be very wonderfully opening up doors of financial opportunity. Tend a sacred flame of devotion to your chunky money house, to your inner life and your soul work as well, with the Vestal flame trining Mars in your 12th house. A lot of moksha energy, a lot of soul work coming off of this Cazimi for all the Sages of the world. Capricorn, sun, moon, and rising sign. You may just pause. Hang on, guys. Pause. Hang on, I got girl. I have another 10 minutes, honey. I have to finish it. So, Capricorn, sun, moon, or less, sun, moon, and rising sign. We have a situation here where you have a Cazimi reset in your 10th house of career and reputation. This can be a real big change in your life when it comes to the work you're doing in the world. A lot of strategy. You may have felt victimized with the victim energy there, like nothing's going your way, your career and reputation, but you got to let go, let God, some strategy, some good news. Pay attention to real news that comes through on the 19th and 20th to do with work and career. Venus in the 9th house suggests courts, legal matters, academics, or foreign lands and foreign shores or foreigners can be a part of this reset in the career path itself. Because you also have a Pholos effect with a moon in the house of you, and it's in a trine to that Venus. One small thing you do or that you're considering in your life can domino really, really radically and change everything. Honestly, a domino effect from the first house, change your home, change your career, change your significant connection to your relationships. You're being asked to tend a sacred flame of devotion in the seventh house. And the seventh house is your marriage house or your significant other or your audience and clients. And you want to tend that flame with some passionate dedication, Mars in the 11th, especially if you want to reach out to influence others. You're being called to really connect with that. Elder sibling can also be connecting to you in legal ways over the course of the 2 months that follow this cazimi. Aquarius, sun, moon, and rising sign. You have a cazimi reset in your ninth house of God. This can open up a corridor for you of deep spiritual attainment, a wisdom as you surrender, let go, let God. A lot going on up there for you. But you may also have to let go of things that have to do with foreign or foreign lands, visas, travel. Have you felt victimized here? I can have. I'm Aquarius rising. When I couldn't travel for 2 years anywhere in the world because my country locked me down because I did not take a medical intervention. So bottom line, I have felt victimized in a foreign land travel area. So if you've been victimized there, feeling victimized in your legal matters, feeling victimized in academics, book publishing, just feeling like somehow you didn't get things going your way, you're really stepping up to re-empower yourself in the 2 months that follow the cazimi. Venus is suggesting from your 8th house that you might have something going on here to do with your chunky money or shared resources with a spouse or business partner that support this rebirth energy in the 9th house. But it's also very good for spiritual downloads and divine receiving divine inspiration. With a square to Pluto in your 12th house and the moon and follows, one small thing that you do in your spiritual life can domino effect. But this also invites in foreign lands, foreign shores, travel, and for some of you, even relocation to a foreign shore. And not that you will move necessarily in 2 months that follow, but knowledge of a move can be emerging for you. That's a flame of devotion to your health, your work routines, is really an ongoing story here during this time, and maybe baking in with that trine to Mars, a devotion to your work at a level that's going to allow you to be very successful, passionate, willful, and driven and ambitious. But because you're tending a flame of devotion, this is not just because it's your day job, it really matters to you. And that devotional flame allows you to thrive professionally. And it can be up to 2 months after the cazimi that this energy reverbs. First and always first, never last, is the Pisces sun, moon, and rising sign. In your sky, what you've got going on here is a cazimi in the 8th house of chunky money, stock market, stock investment, shared resources with a spouse or business partner. Oh, I hope my recording's still going. I mean, my audio's still going. I think it is. I should double check. I just opened up something I shouldn't have. I think it's still going. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So consider that you may have something going on here that allows you to reset your finances, basically, and you've been victimized by your stock portfolio, your 401k, your savings, that you want to live on or something, and now you're going to have this reset. My Pisces rising sister is selling a property, and that could give her more money in cash that allows her to rest easy a bit, for example. But with Venus in the 7th, a lot of this goodness is also contingent on your marriage partner or business partner, and that's where that money stuff is really starting to also gel for you. And you want a flame of devotion to your romantic life, to your children, to your play, to your energy of what inspires and enthuses you, your entrepreneurial energy, devoted, trining Mars in the house of travel, foreign shores, foreign lands, foreigners. So there's something going on there. You may have a devotional flame opportunity to take a trip, to win in a court matter, the good things are happening in that axis of 9-5. And if the domino effect in the 11th house, one small thing that an elder sibling does, or a friend who acts like an elder brother or sister and benefits you, or an ally energy, there's a domino effect there that's going to, from a really extreme crescent moon, that's going to sort of reverb into legal contracts and agreements and connect to the words foreign lands, academics, book publishing, visas, and things like that. I mean, and that cazimi square to Pluto in the 11th can be a really big, intense energy with an elder sibling and news information that's financially beneficial to you coming around that time of the cazimi at 2 months, from money from an elder sibling or powerful people who are wealthy supporting you to increase your chunky money. Thank you for listening. I appreciate it, guys. Take care. I will see you soon in the next videos this weekend, and you should be getting this on the 19th. Take care. I have to rush out to go hot spa or something. Bye-bye. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, check my description box for everything you need to know.